Hello, everybody. You are first. So nice to see you. Look at my crazy hair. I'm trying to advertise the hat. What is up, Mark Molina? It is very nice to see you. Check the plugs. I think the plugs are good. Glad I did not go live. Got the coffee. I'm first. I'm going to hit the check the plugs one. Highlight that. Okay. So I was trying to advertise the cool hat, but then it gave me the crazy hat here. You know how that goes. Annie Ruler. So this is my next project that I want to work on for giveaways is the Love Saves Lives Justice A to Z. So I got to see Mark's video that he made, I think it was yesterday, with the Justice A to Z hat and the tapestry, and that was really cool. I'm so glad I caught that. I'm so glad that you won them. That is awesome. So where are we at? It's Wednesday. It's the 13th of March. It's almost 1 p.m. I love you guys. I'm here. You're here. I'm very happy about all that. Let's get started. I am just appalled. I keep reviewing the Rust interrogations and interviews, and there was a hearing yesterday for the upcoming trial in July. It was just a whole bunch of, gobbledygook, the way court usually is. Kind of meaningless, but it was basically that they were trying to have Alec not have to do any depositions that were not related to that criminal trial coming up at the beginning of July, for him to not have to do depositions for all the other suits against him in his company between now and then. So, that's reasonable. But even knowing what I know about court, even having worked in the courts, and I know this from talking to attorneys, it's very hard for every human to understand. It's a very bizarre process, filing motions, filing continuances. That's common terminology. A motion is just to make something happen. A continuance is basically just to push back the due date. Like procrastinating. That's what a continuance is. So anyway, let me quit procrastinating, getting the ball rolling. I have the thumb right there. I've got my true crime action camera. Click. And Mark, wasn't it you that brought up the other day Sarah Jones, the woman who died while filming Midnight Rider, the life story about Greg Allman on the railroad tracks? Was that 2014 or something like that? Wasn't that the one that you were bringing up, Mark, about 5 days ago? All right, Jazz, I made it. Sandra Langford, I sent off your package yesterday too, with just the tapestry. I have to just blast myself and let everybody know that I was getting you and Sherry Irwin confused. So she won the tapestry and the Tabasco bottle, and then I got confused and I thought it was you. So I think it's only fair that I send you those things too. However, I need to find another tiny Tabasco bottle. I had 3 and I can only find 1. So I'll have to dig one up and then get that to you. But I did send you the cool tapestry. So now you, Sherry, and Mark, and me, we all have matching tapestries. Is that so cool? So great to have a new hat. Oh, that's cute. And yeah, did you see the Jensen Ackles interview? Which one is that? Tell me. Hello, Christine. And no guns allowed. Nope. The girl who got out and cover up actor. The girl who got cut and cover up actor was. Which case is this, Mark? The Jensen Ackles. Shuriandra, you're one now. Sharandra, you're one now. That's not necessary. That's awesome. Handsome guy. Rust case, police interview. Okay. Oh, was that Jensen Atkins? Is that, yeah, the really handsome guy who I never heard of, who Drip Drop says is a great actor. And I believe that he is. And he's had like a 20-year career. And I think he was like 40 years old. I did get to see that interview. I've been kind of obsessed watching all these Rust interviews and interrogations because you guys, the information is inconsistent. These people have all contradicted themselves, not just Alec, not just Sarah, not just Hannah, not just Dave. It seems like all of them, even like that guy, Lane Looper. And Lane Looper seems like a real key player because he was kind of the spearhead of the strike, in my understanding and in my opinion. Let me quickly do my disclaimer. Everything I say is simply my opinion for the sake of conversation, hoping to open up a discussion and learn something and be educational, not have a bad hair day on screen. Could that just be possible, please? That's cute, right? To have it on one side, not the other. Anyway, all my videos to date are made for YouTube. It's an entertainment platform that's been given some of the Kylie Rodney Squirrel Squad a really hard time. So that's concerning. And I think I covered all of that. Let's see, what else? Namaste. Namaste. You know what I like is that Namaste Beaches. Have you guys seen that license plate or bumper sticker? I mean, where did that stupid sign go? I know where my giant sign is. Oh, here's the smaller one. Okay. So I got the white thumb going on right there. I got my smaller sign, subscribe, share, turn on your notification bell to ring. I've got some new stuff in my little repertoire here. Should I see if that can go right there? No, that's not going to work. Let me put it over here. So many details, you guys. It's just crazy. So I've been dying to come on here and talk to you about this case, the Rust case, and the Kylie Rodney case. So the girl who got cut and cover-up actor, I'm not sure, so confused. I know this is why it's good to know names, but it's so confusing. There's so many names. Judge Jazz laying down the law. Oh, I love it. Where's Bex? Mark, you're so funny. Hit the like. It was 0. Oh my goodness, I feel like a big 0 now. Although Zero Effect is one of my favorite movies, so it's okay. You guys, write down Zero Effect if you haven't seen it yet. You're going to love it. Seriously. Where do you get all that stuff, Mark? I am like crazy for candles and home decor and tiny miniature houses and you name it. I'm just crazy. So I find things in a lot of places, and it's hard to determine a lot of times where I found something. There's a couple of consignment stores that I really like. And so that's where you can pick up a lot of unique things, you know, kind of like antique stores, except stuff isn't so old and dusty. And kind of like the Goodwill, except a lot fancier. Because, yeah, it is seriously, not to sound like snooty or snobby or anything, but dust and dirt is a real problem. A real problem. And it's not good for any of us to be around that stuff. I feel bad for the people that work at those places and get exposed to tons of dust and dirt. It's a serious health issue. Like those COVID masks are very good for situations like that. So yeah, I have a collection of globes with I think they call it seeded glass when it has little air bubbles in it. And at risk of knocking things over, I will show you this is like giant air bubbles in this magic globe. I'm in the market right now for a purple one because I have like almost every color except purple. And then this one has the tiny bubbles. So it makes a huge difference in what they look like and the magic that they possess, right? It's hard to really get a good view of, the way the light there you can see the bubbles. They're huge. And then this one has like tiny little bubbles. So there's enough home decor instruction for a day, right? And I am just thrilled to have so many fun things on my set and to have the lights. The lighting is the tough part, Mark, as you know. Natural light is actually like my enemy. You were saying that you like the natural light. Let's see. And the backlighting to me is what's key. So I have all kinds of backlighting and, then it gets to be too much, like the glare from the lighting. So it's all about balance. And this is why so many people just have like their little icon and they just talk and they don't worry about all this. But honestly, I have fun with all of this as much as it can be a pain in the butt, especially when the whole thing comes tumbling down, the domino effect. That drives me nuts. But, I got my little mice friends to go with my human friends out there, you guys. And where's Squirrel? There's Squirrel. See, and I got my tranquility. Tranquility now, please. Okay. I've got so many notes. It's just mind-boggling. It's just really killing me because I really feel like I don't know. I don't know that it was intentional or accidental, but I'm leaning heavily towards intentional. And I'm also leaning heavily towards cover-up, like in so many of our cases. I mean, if there weren't those components, we probably wouldn't be as riveted and fascinated and compelled to break it down and talk about it, right? So at first I thought accident like everyone else. And then the thing that convinces me the most that it was not accidental and that there is a cover-up is people's freaking stories changing. So I want to go over a lot of the Rust information that I keep finding more and more stuff. And it's so confusing. And this is what gaslighters bank on. It's so confusing to try to keep up with real life without, no, not that side. There, that side. Sorry, not to be all vain, but us girls and our hair. Bad hair day and everything's screwy. Where was I? Alec Baldwin is a freaking pig. So he has 7 kids. But why doesn't he say he has 8 kids? Because he has 7 kids with Hilaria. And, let's, for the sake of fairness, let's just try to cut her some slack and cut him some slack. So they have 7 kids together, but really the 2 of them have 8 kids because the child that he had in his previous marriage is his 8th child. And that's also Hilaria's stepdaughter. So whether they want to admit it or not, it's the way it is. So they have 7 of their own biological children. The last 2 were surrogate, you guys. So March of 2022 was when the last surrogate baby was born. So when this all happened on October 21st of 2021, Alec and Hilaria were already expecting their 7th baby through the surrogate. So the 6th one was also surrogate. Those 2 are both girls. I wrote it down. The oldest is a girl, then 4 boys in a row, and then 2 more girls. So, I love babies. I love family. I have 4 kids. I could easily have 7 if that was in the stars. It wasn't. And, thank goodness, because it is rough. Having 4 is rough. And I always say having 1 is rough. And I honestly do think that 1 is the hardest. But the reason I'm bringing up their kids is because Alec keeps using them as shields to hide behind. And it's driving me freaking nuts. Like, they're not pawns, they're not props, they're people. They are people. Just like Helena was a person. And, you know, Alec and Hilaria keep talking about how hard their lives are because of this incident. Well, yeah, why not think about Helena herself? And actually, I think is it Helena? I think it is. Helena is how you're supposed to say it. Again, it's tough. It's tough to get people's names right. So, and then to enunciate them right. So, remember all the confusion about the prop master who had a accidental discharge or negligent discharge with a blank and shot herself in the foot. And I had initially said that was Sarah, and then that's the prop master. And then I said, no, it was a prop assistant. And I think that the prop assistant's name is Nicole. I had that wrong. So we never hear about Nicole. But then I hear again that it wasn't Nicole, that it was Sarah who shot herself in the foot. So why are there two stories? And both of those stories I have heard, I believe, from Nicole herself and from Sarah herself in their interviews and interrogations. So I find that a lot of the information is like that guy, is it Jenkins? Is that his name? That he said that Hannah was inside the church when Helena was shot. But then he has also said that she wasn't. So some of it can be confusion, some of it can be PTSD, and then some of it, I think, is intentional. So I've missed so many of your good comments because I got all hung up on this one, Mark. Where do you get all this stuff? Because I'm like a home decor junkie, in case you couldn't tell. I love my jewelry, and then I got into it with like jewelry for like the front yard, like garden art. That was kind of how I got into the whole home decor thing the first time I was a homeowner. And, you know, this is only the second home that we've owned, but I have a lot of fun with that kind of stuff. Mostly garden, but, you know, then with the whole yoga thing and turning space into altars, and then I just want to turn the entire house into altar space on the outside and inside. But then I feel like I overdo it, which I do. I overdo everything. I have no like reasonable common sense of balance. So then I just forget about all of it and try to like get a blank slate and start over and keep it simple. Okay, let's try to do that with the brain. Okay. Is that an English red phone box? No, it's just a lantern, this one, but I like it the way it looks like windows. And then I like to have the backlight behind it, so it just looks all cool and mysterious. So yeah, that's just a lantern. I have another, you know, and then I have all the stuff that's not in the set. Like here, I'm reaching off set. So here's a black lantern type of thing, and then little tiny white lantern. I just can't stop, won't stop. But where can I put this where it won't distract the eyeball? I'm just going to put it offset right over there. Okay. Is it all the way off? I think it's all the way off. Am I all the way off? I think I am. And see, look at that. If you just turn it the slightest bit, everything changes. But don't you guys love the globes in the back? Like, so this white plant stand I saw at my favorite consignment shop, and I thought, it's kind of ugly. And then I had to like think on it for a couple of days, and then I was like, man, I hope it's still there. And I went back and it was, and this was what I had in mind. So let's have a home decor channel. Let's have a yoga channel. Let's have a jewelry channel. Let's blend it all together with true crime. Thanks for putting up with me, you guys. You're the best. All right. And Christine and Mrs. Amir Zaza, or it's just Mrs. Amir now. Good to see you. Been a minute. I love playing in the dirt. Oh my goodness, I know. And the uh, weather getting nice. I always get fresh mulch, and I can't wait to get my mulch and lay it out because it makes everything look so nice, and then it gives it a good cover to soak up water and really nourish um, the growth. It's all about nourishing the growth, right? Mark, load shedding is messing our minds up for real. Load shedding, is that something specific to Africa or South Africa, Mrs. Amir? Is that something I should know? Jazz is an alien. I knew it. Oh no, what gave me away? What gave me away? I can't handle breathing in dust, asthma. And see, that's the thing, is that everybody is allergic to dust when it gets to a certain level. So even if you're not allergic, even if you don't have asthma, it's still a health issue, kind of like blood sugar. It doesn't matter if you don't have diabetes, you still need to take care of your blood sugar and have a stable glycemic index. And all that means is eat your protein. I mean, you say glycemic index, and it's like you're, speaking in medical terms and in French, and, people's eyes glaze over. Just eat your protein. Every single time you eat, whether it's a meal or a snack, eat your protein, and that will stabilize your glycemic index. And fat also stabilizes your glycemic index, and that helps you stay healthy and fit. So, the whole thing about good fats and bad fats. Anyway, I watch Goodwill shopping videos to feed my decor shopping craziness. Oh my goodness. That's funny. We know you love to shop for the set. Oh, Annie, who outed me? Did I out myself? Yeah. I do cycle through a lot of stuff. I get a lot of cool stuff, and then I, give it to my kids. I've got 2 kids with their own places now, so then I can build them cool altars and such. Are we classified as hoarders? I hope not. Well, see, Christine, this is why I'm constantly trying to get rid of stuff. So I'm constantly giving things away and donating things, putting stuff out on the curb, putting stuff in free spots. I love to share, and I love to get rid of anything that I can, because I do have a lot of stuff. So as soon as I identify I can get rid of that, even though I love it, I can get rid of it, I will act on it immediately. I'm here too, and I have to add an extra name like Honey Badger. Yeah. One thing, I'm so confused. You're not Divine Justice, aka Mrs. G, the Honey Badger, or are you with a new name? Because I'm not familiar with that handle. Is that Mrs. G with a new name? Because I know she got struck 3 times in a day. You guys, it's like war out here on the streets of YouTube. So let me get caught up with you guys and reel it in. Christine, I still have clothes I wore in high school more than 20 years ago. I don't hoard, but keep sentimental things. Shopping is my weakness. High Secret Spy G. Yeah, people. Hi, one thing, aka Sis. Hi, Mark. I'm in stealth mode. So it is you, lovely lady. You're the bomb. You all are. You guys, I'm just so grateful to have my little posse, my true crime community. Where are we? Where did it go? Where did it go? This is why you got to stay caught up. Okay. Good plan. Hi, Zena and chat. And Harshwan, Shelly, good to see you. Miss your lives, one thing. Oh my goodness, Mrs. G's not doing lives? That's right. That's right. I did notice that the last couple of days. What planet are we on? Okay, but it's one thing as in one word. I love it. Oh, did they get on you about having too long of a name? Was that another strike against you? Oh my goodness. Yes, it's me, Wrecked. You're amazing, Jazz. Mark, you're so kind. Thank you. You found me, CB, Mrs. G. I'm on my new iPad, no relation to old account because I hear for Kylie Mae Rodney. Yeah, I know. I am so fired up over this whole thing. And I really, honestly, truly believe, don't you guys? I said this in Shan's live last night. I was having so much technical difficulty. Um, but I really think that the reason that you're getting struck, Divine Justice, aka Mrs. G, the Honey Badger, I mean, one thing, and Shan, who's not here, I didn't text anybody that I was coming on live. I think the reason that you guys are getting struck and put into YouTube jail is because you are on track. That's my opinion, is that if you weren't on track, they wouldn't be going to such drastic measures. So I think that we are hitting pay dirt. We still don't know what happened, but we're getting there. And these lowlifes must be having bricks come out of their rear ends because of people like you, one thing, and Mark, and the rest of the Kylie Rodney crew, that, you know, the fact that we just won't stop talking about it. And it's just because that's where our hearts are at. We don't want to abandon our girl. Kylie's our girl, right? We're here for her. And she brought us all together. Yes, CB, we got a new baby convoy coming to help us out in blocking off the trucky way over. Oh, that's funny. And see, then it jumps. So I'm going to highlight that one. And I am getting caught up. I promise you. Are we already getting close to half an hour? I love it when I can't keep up with you guys. I can't wait for sunshine and no rain. Now you're making me think of that Blind Melon song, No Rain. That is an excellent one. I'll put a link in the description. That's the one with the girl dressed up as the bumblebee. That was pretty much a game changer, wasn't it? We have been getting the ground ready for the garden, and I'm sore, but in a good way. Oh, I know. It's crazy. You got to be careful because it's like outdoor yoga. And I'm so excited about my yoga, you guys. I can't believe how flexible I'm getting. I can't believe that my toe is getting better. It's really gross. And I know I'm ridiculous for showing it to you guys, but maybe I'll show it again because it's still gross, but it's still getting better. And I just feel so lucky. I need a new profile pic that I will brand and soon use copyright tool myself. We gonna dance. I love it. Oh my goodness, so funny. Christine, it's me, Mrs. G. We love Kylie. I know, Kylie's amazing. I mean, she was such an incredible kid and musician. And yeah, I think that song she wrote, Far Away, is so precise. Like, no, people didn't give a crap about her, the people around her in Truckee. And then Far Away, like that is not a word used in her lyrics. But then Shan found that list of all of the people in the Bohemian Grove cult, shall we say, and how they have all these subdivisions. Remember the live when I was like looking up all the names of the subdivisions, and some of them were real curious and others weren't so much, but some of them were creepy AF, and Far Away was one of them. And then I remember the one that was like, when I looked it up, I had no idea what the word meant, and it meant like world eater. Seriously? Planet eater? Something like that? And did you change your identity? It's really me. One thing equals Jesus. Crap, I have not been struck. I know, me neither. I don't think I've ever been struck. Knock on wood. Not yet. Because yeah, it's a pain in the bootay. We don't need that. Ain't nobody got time for that. That would interfere with my yoga schedule and my, my sleuthing schedule. Let's see. I'm not seeing Shan live. I've been looking for her and I don't see any new ones. So Harsh One, you have to go to S on Fire. So it's SO Fire, So Fire, and that's her new channel. So yeah, she had to make a new channel a couple days ago. I just don't get these name changes, but Jazz just said, why? Okay, I'm just too old, I guess. I'm adopting all the bears in Truckee to fight for Kylie justice. Oh, that's a good one. That is great. I'm like seriously surprised they haven't tried to say like alien abduction, Sasquatch, Loch Ness monster. I mean, they're so obviously grasping at straws. I'm by far not standing down, and give me a minute. G, just learning Mrs. G is coming, and eventually the Badger. Yeah, I know, Mrs. G. You are on fire for justice for Kylie. I'm striking myself, Mark. That's so funny. I'm striking myself now. That's a good one. Hey, Nana, Psychoville. And take your temperature. Ryan Garcia is speaking about the Grove. Ugh. Yeah. So the Grove, for people that don't know, is the Bohemian Grove. The Bohemian Grove is near, I think it's slightly northwest of Santa Rosa. I was going to say southwest of Santa Rosa, but I think it's slightly northwest of Santa Rosa. I want to say it's near Montecito. I'd have to look at a map. It's been a while, but yeah, it's a thing, and it's, I think, connected to the Freemasons, right? Let's see. One thing, do you see a farm tractor disc rototiller for doing your garden? Do you use? Well, see, yeah, you'd have to have a really big garden. I mean, my grandmother had a huge organic food garden, and she didn't use any of that stuff, even though she had all that stuff on their farm. They had 100 acres, and my grandfather farmed the land, and she just farmed her vegetable garden without any tools at all. And she loved it, and I thought she was crazy. Thought my mom was crazy too. I was like, they're either lying or they're crazy. Like, how could they love it? It's like torture. But then I got bit by the garden bug a few years ago. And yeah, it's very addictive. Anybody who hasn't tried it yet, it is the bomb. It is so much fun. It's so relaxing. It keeps you outside. It keeps you at peace. And it keeps you on top of taking care of yourself, because you have to stay hydrated, you have to stay fed, you have to take your bathroom breaks, you have to get your rest, you absolutely have to do all that stuff. It's hard, but if you don't do it, you'll pay. So it's a good way to monitor self-care. I'm fine, got my vodka. You're funny. And let's see. Well, I'm glad you're kidding, Mark. I mean, I have no judgment. I've been there, done that. But I just know, as far as taking care of ourselves, we're much better with the other clear liquid, the agua. Let me take a drink. And don't you love my new glass? It's got little tiny seeds in it, seeded glass, and then tiny little air bubbles. I definitely have a thing for colored glass, and I definitely have a thing for the air bubbles in the glass. So let's see. I was watching Shan the other night and it stopped. I was gutted as I was actually awake for it. Nana, was that the one that she was running down that list? And then I got on there at some point with her and was Googling a lot of the names of the divisions of the Bohemian Grove community. I love vodka and lime, water inches, summer heat. Yeah, I really liked those mint juleps. That was one of my specialities. with fresh mint, of course. And what do they call that? Molding the mint when you like crush it up. I'm inviting all the squirrels and Truckee to fight for Kylie. Mrs. G is proper for our Kylie. Grove is a town in Oklahoma, and Grand Lake, it's pretty ritzy. And some Mason stuff there. Interesting. Yeah, in your video where you were out on your balcony, Mark, it looks like a really pretty area that you're in. There is the Club 1-2 more San Francisco, man. It is diabolical. I love San Francisco. I've even got my little Golden Gate artwork, if I can get out of the way so you can see it. There we go. I got my Statue of Liberty. I'm hiding her too. Golden Gate. And then can you see Brando? I don't think you can see Brando. Get my notebook out of the way. There's Brando. See, I want to get everything in the screen. But you know what? This side of the screen that's been all dark, all of a sudden it's working today. Like WTF. But I'm not going to complain. I'm just glad that it's not, it's been like all dark, like a quarter of the screen. It was frustrating. I couldn't figure out what it was. Anyway, let's see. There is the Club 1-2 more San Fran. Thing 1, thing 2, LOL. Man, I can't keep up with you guys. I am trying. And then you just keep commenting. But I love it. It's a fun challenge. Mark, it's like a proper little holiday village, more than one though. CB inviting Truckee squirrels. Uh-oh, I not trust Truckee. Yeah. Sandra, hey there, sugar. And there's a crew G10-4. You kind of got OCD because such serenity and peacefulness in gardening. Oh, yeah. I mean, such serenity and peacefulness. And yeah, you get so hooked on what needs to be done. So I kind of have some rules for myself. Like, I told you guys my rule that I try not to drink coffee after noon. When I'm gardening and I notice something that needs to be done, rather than doing it right away, I try to wait until the next opportunity I have to do it, because otherwise I can feel like I'm just dragging myself from thing to thing that I see that needs to be done. And so I kind of make a mental list. I'm like, oh, I see that needs to be done. Put that on the back burner so I can keep doing what I'm doing. So I don't, just keep jumping around like a squirrel. Yeah, I love vodka, but haven't been able to drink or wanted to since my last bout. Vertigo started 2 years ago. I love Scotch and Coke too. So yeah, I haven't had any alcohol in over 10 years, you guys. So I'm like 34 and a half years in recovery from my addiction to marijuana. I'll just say it. That was my substance of choice. But as an addict, you'll use whatever you can get your hands on. And alcohol was something I didn't think I had a problem with, just like cigarettes were something I didn't think I had a problem with. But yeah, it's been over 10 years since I tried to pretend that I didn't have a problem with alcohol. And I'm just so happy for my sobriety. And I love getting addicted to yoga. It is so much fun and it feels so good. I didn't know I could get so flexible again. And I'm still working on it. I'm still a long way from really where would be awesome to be, but I'm just grateful for every little thing. I got to run that through with the bandit first over Nana. I saw that and I looked again and I don't see anything for Squirrels on Fire Live for the last 3 days. I don't know why. So it's a whole new channel, Harsh One. And if you go to probably my last live from the day before yesterday, I have a link to one of her videos from her new channel. So that's one way you can get to it. I'll highlight that comment. So Shan was doing t-shirts and we were listening to Meg's, then boot, it stopped. Too funny. Yeah, it's nature friendly, Mark. Loved going to Grand Lake, harsh one. One thing you will YouTube review your strikes and get a chance to be back on YouTube. Shelly, me too, hon. I've just checked all my notifications too. I hope she's okay. Shan's fine. I was on a live with her last night. I was having a lot of trouble with my devices, but I think it was just me. I was tired and I was just manhandling my technology. It was ridiculous. But yeah, I was on her live for a little bit last night. And I just heard our first cheeseburger bird. The sign spring is here in our area. Never heard of a cheeseburger bird. 10 Killer and Grand, my lakes. I'm pants. I managed to set up the community button thing, and the first thing I posted got a community strike and taken down. I don't know what the I'm pants means, Nana, but yeah, I tried to put up a little blurb out of the movie or the TV series with Renee Zellweger, the thing about Pam, and I loved the scene where the guy is like doing the karate kicks, and so I made a nice little short of it, and it got struck right away. But yeah, it's copyrighted. So I didn't take it personal, and I certainly didn't argue. I was just like, oh, yep, that's how it goes. I guess I could try to get permission, but it's not worth it to me to put time into that. Seeing our first robin on Monday. So yes, spring is here. Afternoon squirrels. Sorry, I didn't text anyone. Shan, yes, please put your link to your new channel in here, and let me try to get caught up. Great lives, great lives. My channel is education and parody purposes. You need work. Mark, you need work. You're so funny. I know, but then if you get a full-time job, Mark, we're going to lose our access to you on YouTube, and we can't have that. So no, you're not allowed to get a job. So one thing is Mrs. G, Shan, jumping in now. I'm late. Hey, Bex, nice to see you. My account is on hold. This may sound ignorant, but marijuana is addictive. It was for me. Yeah, I mean, the stuff that is bred to be, it's a narcotic. It absolutely is. It's like 4,000 times stronger than the stuff that people smoked in the 60s. A lot of folks don't understand that. And yeah, it's such a hot topic with the legalization of it, especially on the West Coast. Ohio, they were trying to make it legal here. So it would have been impossible for me to ever get away from it if it was legal. So I'm glad that I got away from it when I had a chance. I haven't drank since my hip surgery and neck surgery. And yes, Bex, good to see you. All my lives will be at Squirrel on Fire until I get my strikes sorted. So sorry you're having to deal with that, Shan, but I know you're razor sharp with that sort of thing too. Brilliant, Jazz, and good for you, honey. I've got an addictive personality. Even as a kid, I'd sneak the medicine out of the fridge if we were unwell and drink shots of it. But vertigo is like a dink something that I probably don't want to say. So I like to joke that the first substance that I dealt was Pop Rocks. Do you guys remember Pop Rocks? So yeah, I was very addicted to the sugar, and this was in Los Angeles. I lived out in Malibu, and I would go into the inner city of Los Angeles and buy cases of Pop Rocks, and I would take them to school and I'd sell them. I was dealing Pop Rocks, man. It was crazy. crazy, crazy, crazy. Yeah, I'm good. I'm great. Can't stop, won't stop. Yay. Spring is here. Buttercups. I know. I've got daffodils in my front yard yesterday, you guys. The first couple popped up. Was getting concerned, Shan. I couldn't find you. Bloody annoying. It's Mrs. G. Mrs. G. Shan was just watching your last video. You got to start second channel on YouTube. Let's see. Can be FFS Rogue Thumb. There's her channel link, you guys. Yes. So sub up. I was her 111th sub a few nights ago when I first found it. I think it was the night before last, probably. Oklahoma, it's legal. Buttercups, cheeseburger bird is Western chickadee. That sounds like saying cheeseburger. And chickadees are so freaking adorable. Clean living here. Exactly. I like clean eating too. I mean, I don't do it. I eat way too much dairy. I will cop to that. My doggy's scratching at the door. Maybe I'll let her in. One sec. I'm here, but in a different tab, sorting my lives on Squirrels on Fire or SOF, adding numbers and then making playlists so I can back them up and cut them down and move them to SOF. I'm good. The strikes actually have so many different silver linings between two channels and my productivity. Exactly, Shan. That's like when I had to switch the rooms. That's why my set has been so actively changing, because I helped my son move out of this room into the other son's bigger room that he vacated. And then I didn't want to do it because I knew it would ruin the set that I had been working on, and that it would just be so much work. And yeah, it has been so much work, and it did ruin that set, but it's been a better setup all the way around for sure. And I'm also happy to put my son in the bigger room because, yeah, he deserves that. Absolutely. And yeah, moving is such a pain in the butt. Even when you're not moving out of your house, just moving around in your house is such a royal pain. Anyway, yes, those were wild. Don't drink Coke and Pop Rocks, you will die. I was going to say something about that. Yeah, there's been crazy stories about Pop Rocks exploding inside of people. One thing, I'm sharp in other things like silence. I don't understand. Oh my, I went through a terrible phase of sugar addiction after the Virgo started. It was so bad. I was getting borderline diabetes up to, I was having sugar buddies. Ugh, yeah. See, I can't eat sugar. It just makes me feel like crap. But I do like a little dark chocolate once in a while. I do like ice cream. But again, as long as I have protein right before and then just a little bit. But it's hard to regulate it, right? A little bit leads to a little bit more. All of these strikes, what are they about? So many getting them. So Nana, I think it's about the Squirrel Squad getting to the truth. That's my opinion, is the way I see it. This is just my perspective and it might not be accurate, but when they do those types of things, they're giving themselves away and they're letting us know that we're on track. So for that, we can thank them. My daughter arrived home in the middle of the night. Oh, wonderful thing to have been waken up, though. Mrs. G, is she okay, hon? She's great. Okay, so I'm caught up. Let me show you my toe since I said that I would, and then I can get on with all these freaking notes that I have. Now, how am I going to do this without kicking stuff over? Can you see? It is so nasty. Let's see. Get a little light on there without flooding it. If you can kind of get a view, it's so much better than it was. And I'm very, very fortunate because there is toenail growing there. And I'm just extremely grateful. So thanks for caring, you guys. I know I'm ridiculous for showing you my toe, but since I've been doing all the yoga and I can do it, why not, right? Let's see. How do I want to try to balance out the light. I think that might be good. I'm not even sure. No, that's too much light on that side. Let's balance it out over here. I think that's where I had it, right? Okay. MC knows about the strikes. You can ask her. She is insane. And yeah, the good old Ninja Chihuahua makes so many great videos about that, just like you do. One thing. Happy that your daughter's home. Yeah, where'd she come home from? I remember she went on a trip out of the country not too long ago. Is that where she came home from? So you guys, the business that Alec Baldwin is in as a Hollywood actor and a producer, and he's so full of himself. And yes, he was very handsome back in the day. And he, when he was married to Kim Basinger, and she was like the hottest thing on the planet, and the two of them together were just like smoking hot. And that went to hell in a handbasket. And then he married this woman that was, I think she's 25 years younger than him, and they've had all these children. So he's got 8 now. And he really uses that whole family man thing as a defense mechanism with the unaliving of Halyna Hutchins. Like, he's really trying to be the good guy family man. So one of the things that this narcissist likes to do, as he is trying to claim zero responsibility for the situation, is instead of saying like 100%, he'll say 1,000%. So when people exaggerate so extreme like that, it makes me suspicious. So he says that he's 1,000% not responsible for this. And he also said like 1,000% that Hannah is the only one that's ever handed him a gun. And we know that Dave Hall was actually the one that handed him the gun that was the one that took Halyna Hutchins' life. So just something to look for. But he's just so full of himself, and he loves talking down to people, even talking down to the law enforcement and telling them how much harder his job is than theirs. And yeah, that's insane. First of all, it's apples and oranges. Second of all, you've never been in law enforcement, so you wouldn't know. Probably most of the people in law enforcement have never been Hollywood movie stars, other than, was it George Segal? No, what's his name? Steven Seagal. So yeah, they don't know. I mean, you've got apples and oranges, and you don't know how difficult something is until you try it. And what's difficult for one person might not be difficult for another. But for Mr. Baldwin to try to act like his job is so much harder than these cops, at the same time saying, oh, I know your job is hard, but my job is so much harder. It's just crazy. Let's see. MC gave me Peen Suma executive powers to her channel. I don't know what that means, but it's funny. Let's see, right, Mrs. G, I think as I'm in the middle, seeing as I'm still friends with her, I'm sorry if it does upset people. I hate that, but I can't seem to focus there. But other places is what pulls. Oh, I didn't know anybody in my chat was friends with her. Oh, dear. But yeah, I think it's important to keep an open mind. AB is mental. He was so trying to get off the hook as soon as he did it. Yeah, he's 1,000% innocent of any wrongdoing, Mark Molina. Yeah, and he's so worried about himself. like right off the bat, like right after it happened, when the first responders were there, and he's trying to talk to them, and they're like, dude, back off. We're dealing with stabilizing life and death medical situations. Like, take a number, get in line, is basically what they said. But then at the same time, they're starstruck, and so they are treating him like he's special. And I think that the whole court system is doing that, and it's complete bogus crap. Did not pull the trigger. But you know what, Mark? He said on tape a whole bunch of times that he did fire the gun and that he did pull the trigger. So, he did himself in. Is Pine Suma the dark-haired young man, Mrs. G? Not with all MC has said. No apologies needed. I get it. I have missed so much that I should maybe go over Meg's stuff, but so behind with Shannon, all I want to catch up there. As Kylie is top priority, I get drawn to the spiritual side, draws me. It is overwhelming to try to keep up with everything, but I just think it's important to not worry about it, to stay focused, and just to keep confident that you have gotten all the material that you need to be exposed to, and that you will continue to have exposure to the material that's necessary for you to be exposed to. And, we're going to miss stuff. That's just, it's okay. I don't like AB as I can be on the jury. Can I be on the jury? Oh my goodness. I know. I feel like I need to lay out the case between now and July, because he's guilty AF. So many people have said so many times that there was no stress on no tension on the set. Oh, other than the 5 people that walked off. And the whole series of events, you guys, it's just crazy. I do not want to miss what you guys are saying. Darling Christine, she's red-haired Cocker Spaniel. Nana, to me, it's fine, not friends. Please hear. Mark, thank you so much. It's always worried me, but my loyalty is here with all of you at the end of the day. UK time can mess me up. Absolute BS. Hey, Melanie, putting your life on the line in law enforcement regularly compared to remembering some lines and play a character. They don't even have to remember their lines these days because they have all the teleprompters. Plus, he earns a huge amount of money for it. And then he likes to pretend like he's just trying to make a living to put food on the table for all those darn kids. It's just like, oh my goodness, and he loves reminding everybody how important he is and how wealthy he is and how he's got all these houses everywhere that he needs to sell, and they're just going to simplify and live in Vermont. Yeah, I'd like to see them make it through a winter in Vermont. I mean, that's hardcore. I know it's an absolutely beautiful state, but you have to be hardcore to make it through a winter in Vermont. For sure. And yeah, I've known both actors and law enforcement, and yeah, you just can't compare the two. Please. It's crazy. Don't listen to her. Nana time is easy in England. It's tea time. Okay. So, you guys, Nicole or Sarah is the prop master or prop assistant. Sarah's the prop master. Nicole's one of her assistants. One of them shot themselves in the foot with a blank. But did you know that Sarah's fiance is Nicole's brother? So these are relationships that you need to look for to really understand the dynamics of what's going on when there's a crime like this. So Nicole and Sarah are going to cover for each other because they're literally family. So Dean Winchester is the guy that I was talking about when you typed in that other name, Mark. Dean Winchester is the handsome actor that's been acting for like 20 years, and he was playing a cowboy in Rust, or he did play a cowboy in Rust, and he said this: he checks his own gun every time, every time. He says armors hate this, but he fires his gun 6 times into the ground every time it's handed to him. Wow. Good for him. Good for him. Let's see. Chai tea. Oh, I love chai tea. So good. Iced chai tea, hot chai tea. I could like be in India and just live on chai tea for sure. Supernatural Dean. Yeah. Well, who was the other person you were talking about, Mark? Do you think that it was definitely Kylie's car that she was left in? The white one seems to be about again. You know, Nana, I am not a good person to ask that question, but I appreciate you asking it. If other people have some thoughts and opinions about it, please share. I don't understand the whole thing with the white car. I just think it's a freaking circus and just so much confusion. But that same like circus mentality is what I see going on in the Rust trial. And after all of the reviewing of recorded interviews and interrogations, it feels to me like even the trial that just happened, that I felt very confident was fair and just, that it was just a sham, that it was just a dog and pony show. I think that Alec is being protected because he is an investment source for a lot of heavy hitters in our culture, like NBC, CBS, Fox, CNN. So, you know, they're going to protect their own interest. They're going to protect their bottom line. So sounds like a really reasonable gun user. I know. I liked hearing him talk about it. It was him, Jensen, who you said what he said. Same man. Okay, so Dean Winchester, and then I don't know if one of those is his character name. FBI, can I see your notes? Thought Jagger has the white one. I thought Jagger has the silver one, but yeah, it gets so confusing. And I mean, the whole thing is just like Shan was saying in her live last night, it feels like an absolute psyop sometimes. It really does. Same thing with the Idaho 4. Absolutely. I'll give that a go. Thank you. I tried a head lifting thing that someone kindly suggested, but I don't think I was doing it right. Dean Winchester is his character name of Jensen. Okay, thank you, Mr. Mark. Jaeger has a white, I think 2011 Honda CRV. It's vertigo due to excess fluid not drawing from the ear canals. Don't know. Yikes. Yeah, that's no fun. So this is why I think that the whole setup with Rust is a crock, because the question of where the live round came from, certainly law enforcement knows by now. Certainly they know exactly where it came from, but they're still pretending like they don't know. Like that's still an open-ended question. But did you know, I just learned this in the last 12 hours, that the 45 long Colt that Alec used as a prop for his character had disappeared for a unspecified amount of time. So Sarah knew that it disappeared and Hannah knew that it disappeared, and then it reappeared. And they can't even say vaguely what kind of a time frame it disappeared for. And then there was the missing box of prop bullets that I think is still missing. So it's just nuts. And certainly Hannah used some of the guns, some of the weapons for target practicing. So she allegedly had asked if she could use some of the prop guns to do some target practicing out there. She was told no, and she did it anyway, allegedly. So there's that. This is my ever evolving theory, is that I honestly think that Mr. Baldwin may have done this intentionally and tried to pin it on Hannah, thinking that he could, thinking that he's such a superstar that he could shoot someone and unalive them publicly and get away with it. And he almost has. And I certainly hope he hasn't. The man has the audacity to tell law enforcement when they're trying to interview him to get more information about what exactly happened and how it happened. He has the audacity to bring up how he's really good friends with, is it Michael Lauren, the guy who produces SNL, and that he is responsible for SNL getting an award recently. And he was pushing the sabotage theory and accident. Anyway, he's a pig, in my opinion. And then the way he uses his kids, like, you know, he's on the phone with law enforcement and his kid's yelling for him, and he's like, 1 second, 1 second. So he's basically letting law enforcement know that he needs to get to his kid. But he's lying to his kid. It's not going to be 1 second. It's probably going to be like half an hour. Just a dirtbag. Isn't vertigo due to excess fluid not drawing from the ear canals? I don't know. And there's also like a crystal in your ear that can get off kilter. I think Shan knows all about that. Oh man, that whole spider thing in your ear, Miss Squirrels, that was crazy. That was so nuts. And yeah, that gave you vertigo, didn't it? In the beginning, her car color was be on the lookout with the real color scratched out and silver written over the color. Oh my goodness. That's so crazy. Thank you for that. We're all multitasking conversation in here. Kylie did have white Honda CRV and Pap a silver. I've only seen a picture of Kylie sitting in a white one. Anyone see picture of a silver one with Kylie in it or near it? Anyone? Wow. Who's the lovely looking actor who has a family that have cannibal likes? I think he did too. He lives on Tahoe somewhere. I think he's about 30-ish, I think. What? Has a family that have cannibal likes? Nana? Wow. Didn't know that, Shan. I guess I missed that info. And some thrown away. Right, the rounds that Sarah threw away. They like punish the weakest link in the chain. That's Hannah. That way AB is, she probably was afraid of giving him orders. She's so young and he's intimidating. No match for Mr. Important. Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, she was extremely young and a female in a role that is typically held by men. So, yeah, she was like a little girl. I mean, I think she was 23 at the time. And maybe 5'3". And I'm sure she's got attitude. I mean, obviously. But not the right attitude, not the right sense of maturity and responsibility to be responsible for a bunch of other adults' life and safety. No, not her. That's absurd. And then for people to say that they felt safe on the set when there had been 3 negligent gunfires, There'd been an explosion. I think that was on day 3. And then there was the whole rattlesnake incident. Like, why would anybody feel safe on that set? That's just crazy. I think they're lying. I think they're trying to downplay it, and they're trying to whitewash the whole thing. Oh, it was just this horrible accident. It was so much more. The night before, that guy Ryan was yelling at Helena. Then the morning of, the crew that's walked off the job the night before comes to pick up their possessions, which then completely derailed everything as far as filming goes, because they had to then get those cameras replaced. So they finally get all these things sorted out. They break for lunch at roughly 12:30. They come back from lunch at roughly 1:30. I still don't know what time Alec fired that gun into Helena. I still am curious what the minutes were between when the gun fired and she fell. She was, I guess, sitting up, and I think her exact words were, "This is no good. This is no good at all," after she had said that she couldn't feel her legs, and then she blacked out. Oh my God, you guys, this is the most important part of the information I needed to share with you today. And I've got 2 notebooks. So which one is it in? In this interview that Alec Baldwin says what I just said, and then he says yada yada yada. Hold on. I gotta find this. And he stutters a lot too. And you got to remember that his father was the gun shooting coach for 28 years when he was growing up in Amityville. And, you know, he tries to act like he doesn't know anything about guns, but he obviously does. If you listen to him talk about guns, he has a wealth of information. Oh, man, where did he say the yada, yada, yada? I got to get this part. I think it's in this notebook here. This is why I try to only have one notebook. Oh, maybe I'm not finding it. Maybe it's not even in either one of these notebooks. Oh, Alec Baldwin tells the police officer that all of this rigmarole around the incident in the days immediately following Helena losing her life, that it was costing him job opportunities. He didn't even say job opportunities, but he said, you know, we need to wrap this up because it's costing me job ops. He said that to the investigators. And oh my goodness, where did he say that? Yada, yada, yada. He calls her this woman. Let's see. Yeah, this is what he said. This is his quote. Her eyes were rolling into the back of her head and blah, blah, blah. I'm going to put the link to that interview in the description with the timestamp because I have it written down here. It's at the 1 hour and 1 minute mark, right after the 1 hour, 1 minute mark. And he says, her eyes were rolling into the back of her head and blah, blah, blah. Literally, that's the quote. I think that's when he's sitting in the interrogation room with the police, and it's right before they tell him that she didn't make it. Her eyes were rolling into the back of her head and blah, blah, blah. Like, what in the world, dude? Douche? Let's see. So you guys are still talking about the CRV with the white one and the silver one. CB says, I agree, Jazz, 100%. Do you think it was a sacrifice? I mean, why would he unalive her so young with kids too? So she only had one kid. She had the 9-year-old. I have not thought of it as a sacrifice. I think that a lot of people were angry with her. A lot of people were angry on the set and angry with her camera crew that was walking. So she had expressed that she 100% supported her camera crew. She even put up an Instagram post saying that. And I'm really curious about that Instagram post because I haven't seen it. I'd like to know exactly when she posted it and exactly what it said. I think that tempers were flying. And I mean, I understand what you're saying, Nana. And you just never know. You never know. I didn't get notification again for Shan's live. I looked too. No intended target in Russ set, in my opinion. Well, the thing is, when they came back from lunch, they knew that she was going to be filling in because the crew wasn't there. So she was the one behind the camera. And there is the theory of sabotage that somebody like Hannah could have just been mad in general and wanted to sabotage the set and sabotage Alec Baldwin. But I do think that she was the intended target. I do. Just my opinion. Where are we now? OMG, yeah, it did. Squirrel said AB needs to go to jail. Where's the liberal anti-gun outcry? Oh, that's right. Not there for Hollyweird. And remember, he's very politically outspoken too. So yeah, a lot of people don't like him and his politics. First 24 hours, 48 hours, law enforcement. Yeah, I have to get it looked at more. It's terrible. I can't walk with it. I fall into walls and overlook like what I've had the body. Guys, hit the like. Only my like is there. Oh, did you hit your refresh mark? Yeah. See, because I haven't shown you my cooler thumb. So I've got the uncool white one and then my cool gray one. So please hit that creepy like button. Let's see. Yeah, I think his name begins with an H. I'm not sure which one you're talking about, Nana. MC just admitted to striking everyone. How great. Oh, how funny. Oh, my goodness. She's such a dope, man. She just does not understand. She's not the sharpest tool, but she is a tool nonetheless. If you're a reputable family in a growing community and you don't want someone to be part of the community, you take time to make sure they don't get in. And I would imagine you're talking about our dear Ms. Kylie. Maybe YouTube was hung on me. Hold up. I got to clip this. Never gonna end under fair use and parody. Oh no. Then you take them to court over $850,000 loan for faster payment or loss of said water rights. So are you talking about Scammy's parents and Kylie's granddad? Because they were in court for like 20 years over some water rights, right? MC learned a new skill. Sounds just like her crazy yeesh. Um, MC thinks I don't have channel wrecked. Yes, I do. Then once you get the family out of water, then you try to get their lodge shut down or for them to sell and get out of town. Why LRN is trying to save it because she doesn't understand community. Silence is awkward, Lindsay. I like that, Mark. Yeah, good theories, Shan. Could very well be right on the money. Kylie Rodney was the message, and we hear her and them. The family covered up death of Kylie Rodney while doing what they planned, running the Robertsons Neiman's out of town. Armand Douglas Hammer. I have no idea who that is, Nana. See, he wanted insurance money, do some other work, and remake cheaper. Jazz, you can be on the jury with me. It's a lot of work being on a jury. Shan, I agree. I should imagine there was a bit of power when Gramps had the water rights thing so bad. I know you all think when I say the family, I'm implying Kylie's family. Quite the opposite. I think the Smiths. Yeah, that's what I thought you were getting at, Shan. The Smiths, and I find it strange we haven't seen hide nor hair of them. She was so young and beautiful. I think there will be a star shine more now. If we do them, we know. And where is our Kylie Rodney 48 hours 2020 specials? Where, Mark? You were on that. Nothing's changed about nothing. MC have rude awakening and gloat because it's short-lived. Scammy boat is a Donner in the AWP video. Well, I thought that her family sold the boat right after, sort of like how Nicole Kessinger sold her SUV the day after the Watts family was unalived. I thought that Scammy's family had sold their boat the very next day or shortly thereafter. That actor is a bit disgraced at the moment, but I'm sure he still resides at Tahoe. Armand Douglas Hammer. Okay, yeah, I have no idea. Donner Lake Boat Ramp. Ooh, my days. Shan, isn't it disgusting you feel you have the right to do shite like that? Selfish and spiteful. Hey, Anna Bean, guessing that you're about done. Yes, I am about done. We're getting on to an hour and a half. It's a long one. Lots of comments, you guys. Thank you. Oh, we have the message, and that's why we are here. We ain't going nowhere until there's justice for Kylie. Megan loves stairs. Oh, one thing. Yeah, I don't like stairs either. But yeah, I really wonder about her brother falling down those stairs. Like, what is the whole story? If his passing away was an unattended passing away, it should be treated like a homicide until a homicide or foul play is ruled out entirely. But I mean, he might be one of the many people in Truckee, the everyone counts type of thing. He could be one of many. Yeah. Tools of chaos, maybe. Yeah. Yeah, that is how he passed. He fell down a flight of stairs. What was it? Around 10 years ago or so. I think he was about 28 years old. Maybe it was more like 20 years ago, 10 or 20 years ago. I believe he was roughly 28. And wasn't it like Christmas or something? Yeah. Terrible. Terrible, terrible. Let's see. So Alec Baldwin, sorry, I have to lean forward to get the notes into the light because I wrote so lightly. Alec Baldwin said that Dave Hall has never handed him a gun. He said that in one of his many interviews, you guys. And this is why they like to interview people again and again, so they can get the inconsistencies and find where the lies are. But why is he not being challenged yet? Hopefully, when his trial comes up in July, that'll be brought up, because it's crazy. It is absolutely crazy. And I'm just so heartbroken for Halyna. Yeah, I think Halyna is how you're supposed to say it. So heartbroken that her life was taken from her, and her husband and her child and her sisters and her parents. And really everybody that knew her seemed to think really highly of her. She was a very charismatic individual. And that really comes across in just the photographs of her, in my opinion. You can really see that. Let's see. The GoFund brought out Lindsay. What a waste, though. Accidents in the home are meant to be the biggest unaliver. And trust me, I think I've tried them all. Plus, well, and there's a lot. It's estimated that like 50% of homicides don't even get investigated as homicides. I mean, accidental is kind of like a trash diagnosis, a trash cause of death. You call it accidental, and that kind of covers all your bases. So that's what they're doing with Halyna Hutchins. Accidentally shot. Like, he pulled a gun, pointed it at her, cocked and fired it, and then calling it an accident, when there were a lot of tempers flying and her crew was the center of the scuttlebutt. I don't trust these people. And, they're Hollywood. They're masters of deception. They're masters of manipulation. I mean, that's what Hollywood does. That's what show business is. Now she said, you guys want me to say Kylie? Ew, gross. She's so disgusting. She really needs to get a life other than scrubbing other people's toilets. Did you guys see that Ninja Chihuahua video where she highlights how MC is saying how the Squirrel Squad needs to get a life? And then she's like saying, like, look at me. I'm on my YouTube and scrubbing a bathroom. Like, that's like having a life. For me, having family, having health, having the gardening, all of that is having a life, and having my pets. I mean, pets are so important. Pets really add to our quality of life and our longevity and our compassion, our ability to empathize. So yeah, just hanging out with your pets is a really healthy thing to do. I mean, hanging out with your people is a healthy thing to do too, but pets can be even more therapeutic in my experience, in my opinion. Let's see. I bet they don't. I've seen that with a friend and others plenty of times. Hi, Anna Bean. It's me, Mrs. G. She said she hates stairs. One thing says it was in 2012. Oh, so it was 4 days before Christmas. It was 12/21/2012. And that would be 12 years ago. Thank you. Or not 12 years ago. 11 years ago. Just over 11 years. Squirrels on Fire retracted her own message. I have a life. I'm not the one. So bored. I'm listening to lives of people I hate just to strike their videos out of spite. That's a no-lifer. Yes, Shan, you do have a lot going on and you juggle very well. It's fun to watch you. So, Sunset Sage, we are just wrapping it up, friend. Thank you for coming in and saying hi. Any closing arguments? Let me look at my notes real quick and see if there's something that I really need to get in this video that I haven't yet. Oh, I didn't say this yet. How Alec Baldwin refers to Halyna as that woman. Weird. And nothing was bad on the set. There was no stress on the set, other than the whole strike and all of that. Oh my goodness. Yeah, law enforcement has got to know where the live round. And I mean, it would be my guess that they came from Hannah doing her target practicing and then confusing things. But this is my theory, is that Alec Baldwin then used that as a veil to hide this accident behind. That's my theory at this point in time. I mean, it changes as I get more information, but I've been watching and rewatching a lot of these interviews, and it's mind-blowing. My dog is the best. Hubby and son are great as well, but they can't compete with the golden retriever. Oh, and I didn't show you guys Mookie yesterday. Like, she came in and then she wouldn't cooperate. Let me see if I can get her on screen before I wrap up. So one sec. You can admire all the cool stuff in the set that I was blocking by sitting there. Mookie! Come here, baby. Come here. There you are. Come here. Come here. Come here. Oh, she's so silly. No, I did not hurt her. I promise you guys. I would never hurt my baby. But sometimes she pretends like she's being hurt because she's high maintenance goofball. There, a superstar. Oh, Mookie is such a love bug. She's so silly. Don't you love the black heart on her forehead? And I'm telling you, she is only 51% wiener dog, but she looks like she's all wiener dog and she acts like she's all wiener dog. Is she the cutest little thing in the world? She's my baby. And now she wants to leave me. Okay, you guys, I'm going to wrap her up. Thank you so much for being here. Have a lovely rest of your day, and I will hopefully see you guys tomorrow. And what else? Make sure you eat your veggies, eat your protein, stay hydrated, get some exercise, stretch, relax, play with your fur babies, your little love bugs. And yeah, she is after a bit while I work on my car, likely around 4. Good to know, Shan. Thank you, Jazz. All here, love you all. Yes, his date of birth is 4/18/1980, meaning what? He was 32-ish when he passed away. That would be MC's brother. And yeah, it's really sad. And you would think that she would have more compassion for Kylie, having gone through that with losing her brother. So love and light, people. Have a really fabulous rest of your day, and we will see you on the next one. Hopefully we will see you in Shan's live in a couple hours. So peace out. And yes, sending blessings to everyone. Take really good care of yourself. And triple Gemini kitty here. Oh, Mark's going live. Awesome. We'll check that out too. So thanks again, everyone. Light and love. Oh, and love will save the day. This side of me. There we go. Love will save the day. Very important message.